Hi, Jesper Scherpenhuizen here, Kofax. In this video, I would like to show you some applications of Kofax RPA and the Google Cloud Natural Language Platform. This will not be a how-to video. It's not going to be a best practices explanation or expose. I would much rather inspire you to think about how you can leverage RPA and NLP in general. I would like to talk a bit more about the background, where all this is coming from. It's of course a hot topic. I would like to tell you what my inspiration and actually what my trigger was to dive into this. After that, I will give you some tips and tricks on how you can achieve that and show you a couple of robots I've built. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me afterwards. Always willing to have a chat or see what we can do. That being said, RPA and AI are of course part of a larger discussion that's going on throughout the IT world, where you do see that evolution from robotic process automation, RPA, into intelligent automation. To achieve real intelligent automation, you will of course need additional capabilities. Where we as Kofax want to position ourselves, we want to position ourselves with the intelligent automation platform of choice, with all of the building blocks that you can see right now. But we do see that we need to act as the connective tissue between all of these capabilities that organizations will need to address their business process automation challenges. We will need to be able to leverage AI and machine learning platforms. We will need to be able to leverage cloud applications, chatbots, and all that. We, Kofax, our intelligent automation platform, wants to tie all of that together and be there to address these requirements out there. But the only way how we can achieve that is if you leverage an open platform that makes it easy to interface with all of these other solutions out there. We want to be able to help enable the usage of AI capabilities like NLP within organizations. We want to make it as easy as can be. Well, with that being said, I want to talk a bit more about what triggered me in diving into this. Well, most of you will be aware of the so-called T1 demo. It is one of the key go-to demo scenarios that we within Kofax use because it tells a compelling story, how you can leverage incoming emails, Excel, desktop applications, orchestration, and really automate a business process from start to finish. But there was one part in this demo scenario that I was a bit, I felt a bit queasy every time I had to explain that. And let me show you why. Okay, the first thing in that scenario is you need to log into an email system and then you grab the unread emails. What the robot then does, it opens that email and it looks for the email address. And based on the email address, it then determines, oh, this is a T1 Enterprises purchase order. But then I thought, well, there may be many reasons why T1 Enterprises is sending emails to this inbox. It might be a cancellation, it might be a change request, it might be, well, just a general query. Anything is possible. So what are we actually looking at here? We're looking at a system-generated email that is meant for a human to analyze and act upon. So in order for us to give meaning to this, you will need to have some sort of understanding of what this is. So with that in mind, I went out and I started looking at, okay, what type of capabilities would I need? And my first thought was, I will need something like entity extraction to really determine that this is indeed a T1 purchase order. So with that in mind, I came across the Google Cloud Natural Language platform, where you can just easily register, get some volume for free. I think mine is limited to 5,000 requests per year. So you then log in, and the first thing that you need to do is you need to generate an API key, because you'll need that if you want to have your Kapow or Kofax RPA robots to interact with them further down the line. So you just go to API credentials, and you'll be able to generate a new set of credentials right there on the spot. I've got my API keys visible here. No worries, I'm gonna remove them once I put this video online. But I just want to make sure that you understand what you would need. So once you've got this, you can then start to build some robots that will be able to leverage this. So it boils down, you grab text, you send that to the Google Cloud platform. It then does its magic, it analyzes the text, it is extracting the entities, and it's returning that to you as in a JSON format. It's going to return, okay, what's the type? So it's actually going to name the entity. Is it an organization? Is it a person? Is it an event? Is it anything else, or maybe other? It's what is the actual entity? Was it indeed Jesper? Was it indeed happening in the Netherlands? And what is the salience? And salience actually means how important is that entity in relation to the rest out there. I actually had to Google it. But that actually means, so how important is that entity for this story? Please keep that in mind. It's going to be a bit more important going further. So with that, the first robot I built was just a small proof of concept robot. It is an attended robot that just grabs whatever I have in my clipboard. It submits that to Google, and it then returns all of the entities that with a salience higher than 0.01, and types that into a notepad. So I've got the information here. Let me just copy that, and I then press the hotkey, in this case Control F1. So my robot is starting, it's now submitting this to Google, and it's now, well, actually typing the information and all the entities out there. So you can see that all of these have a salience over 0.01. The robot is done. So this is fairly straightforward. This is of course something, it's nice to show, but it doesn't really have any business value. It just acts as a nice example, because you would never want an attended robot to do this for you, because a human being is much better suited to do these entity extractions than a robot. So you would just read the story out there. So let's open up the Design Studio. So here we have that robot that you just saw. Let me just switch my DAS to single user mode, save and restart, and go there and reload it. There you go. So let me just quickly run you through this robot. So the first device automation step, that does nothing more than just grab whatever I've got in my clipboard. The second one just opens Notepad, and this snippet is of course where the Google magic happens. So let me just start this real quickly. Press Control F1 so we can start that. Minimize this. So the first things I do here is I just do some cleanup. So I remove things like quotes, I remove things like slashes, just some housekeeping here and there. This is the step that really does the submission. So I just submit this body that contains the text that I want to have analyzed. It submits it to the Google API's endpoint together with the API key. It does that. It returns the JSON containing the extracted entities, and we can then loop through that. So here you have them. I do apologize, it's rather small to see, but you'll see that it has extracted a person, Khashoggi, with a salience. It's going to show where it's mentioned, the location, US, another person, Crown Prince. So we can now loop through that, and we can extract the information that we want as you can see, it's already pasting that into my my notepad there. Extract the salience, extract the entity, return the value, and we can actually test it to make sure that we only get the ones with the salience over 0.01. So as I said, pretty straightforward. Nice to show as a proof of concept. But then let's go back to the T1 robot. Let me just grab the original one. So as you know, the first thing we do is you have a robot out there that needs to log into the email system. It logs in, it then loops through the emails, it checks if it's got a new email, and it then opens the email, and then it determines, based on the email address, whether or not this is coming from T1 Enterprises. But as I already mentioned, I didn't find this too compelling. Let's do something with the actual content within the email. So that's what I've done in this example. So again, I do everything the exact same way. I log into my system, log into email. We just do some reconfiguring there. But once I have the email, I extract the whole body of that email, and I then submit that to the Google Cloud natural language platform. Extract the results, and once I have the result, I need to do something else as well, because this might actually contain several organizations, but I'm only interested to determine what the organization is with the highest salience. So what I do is I extract all of them, I loop through all of these entities, I check whether or not they are an organization, and I check which one of them has the highest salience. And then that one I want to keep and determine later on. So instead of checking whether or not the email is coming from, now I check the entity with the highest salience. If that is indeed T1 Enterprises, then I do this. And then if I debug it, I've of course added a stop here because I don't want to do the whole processing right now. I just want to test it. Click on debug, and you can see the robot doing its thing, and it's going to return, yeah, we've determined it is indeed T1 Enterprises. Well, this is of course a really nice example, but it shows how easy it is to leverage external capabilities into the Kofax RPA ecosystem. This was just a simple REST call to an NLP platform. The same thing can be achieved for any other AI capability that we want to bolt onto Kofax RPA. I've shown you what the vision is, how we see business process automation going forward with this genesis of intelligent automation. I talked a bit more about why I was so driven to do this, because of a demo scenario that didn't really fit from my point of view. I've shown you what you can achieve with a simple proof of concept robot that just shows how easy it is to interact, and I've shown you how you can then actually leverage those capabilities in a real-world scenario. Even though, well, T1, the supply chain management scenario, is of course a demo scenario, but it is a scenario that's fairly common, not just in supply chain management, but in organizations everywhere that I've seen. Well, that being said, I hope you all enjoyed looking at or watching this video. If you have any questions, any remarks, comments, feel free to reach out to me. You know how to find me. With that being said, I would say have a good one. Thanks for watching.